So today's story is about the fighting monks. Once upon a time, there was a temple that had a lot of monks. Now, in that monk, there was two leaders. The one leader was good at the rules, and one leader was good at teaching. So the teaching monk, they called him Tamakatut, whereas the leader of the rule guy, he would call him Winaiton. So one day, one of the monks went into the bathroom. After he came out, the other monk went in. And he noticed that there was something wrong. I think there's some water left in the bowl. It was against the rule. So he said to him, "Hey, I'm the rule monk. I'm telling you, you made a mistake." That monk was a good monk. So he said, "You know what? I'm sorry. I didn't know it was against the rules. I'll confess my sin if you want me to." The other monk said, "It's okay. You didn't know. It's not wrong." Then they both went home. Well, later on, the students of the monk that did the wrong thing were walking, and then these, like in the TV show, then the other monks are walking by and they start gossiping. And the first group was like, "Hey, what are you guys talking about?" And the second group says, "Oh, we heard that your teacher makes mistakes and doesn't confess his sin, like doesn't admit to his wrong." And they're like, "Wait, what?" So they ran back to their teacher and like, Teacher, some people were talking about you behind your back, and they said you do wrong things and you don't admit your fault." The teacher got mad. He's like, "What? He told me you don't have to. He said it was okay. Now he's talking behind my back." Well, that teacher is a back talker. He likes to talk behind people's back. So now, whenever this group sees this group will complain about their teacher, said your teacher does wrong, does not admit it. They'll yell back, "Well, your teacher likes to talk behind people's back, and your teacher is a liar." And they just started fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. Then the temple started breaking in half. The people who were friends with this group would start to go on this side and start yelling at this side. The people who liked the people on this side would go on this side and start yelling at this side. Now, when it's time to sit together, they separate. These two monks sit together, those two monks sit over there. When it's time to go bintabat, they go different places. When it's time to eat, they eat separately. When it's time to sleep, they sleep separately. They won't use the same bathrooms, they won't sleep in the same place. It started to get kind of a headache. For example, if Lucas says, "Hey, I want to invite 4 monks to my house for a blessing," but the 2 monks don't get along, they'll say, "Nope, you can only have 2. And if you want 4, you get 2. After you finish, the other 2 will come. They will not go together." And Lucas is like, "That's a headache. Then I don't want it anymore." And they have all these problems. Well, the temple's fighting got so famous that it went from one city all the way to the Buddha city, and the Buddha found out. So the Buddha came by himself all very far to come help and said, "Monks, please stop fighting, okay? I'm the Buddha, I'm the big leader. I ask you as a favor, just stop. Just stop fighting." And the monk says, "We'll stop fighting if they stop." And they said, "No, we'll stop fighting if they stop." And the Buddha's like, "Guys, I said stop fighting." And they said, "You know what, Buddha? We're not going to stop fighting. Why don't you just go have a rest?" You know how rude that is to tell the Buddha to go chill? So the Buddha says, "Okay, if you guys cannot get along, I won't live here." So the Buddha went inside Golden Gate Park and lived by himself. But guess what happened? Now, because he did that, all the people who knew the Buddha was going to come to this temple, they come to the temple and there's no Buddha. So they asked the monks, "Where's the Buddha?" They're like, "Oh, he's in the forest by himself." By himself? He's the Buddha. You're supposed to take care of him, and he's like, "Good luck for all of us, and we want to learn." He's by himself? Why? Oh, because we were arguing and we wouldn't stop arguing. And so the people stopped supporting the temple. They just completely stopped supporting the temple. After 1 day of hunger, 2 days of hunger, 3 days of hunger, the monk says, "You know what? Our argument compared to our hunger is nothing. How about we stop fighting?" And because they were in so much hunger, they stopped fighting. But they went to the lay people and said, "Lucas, Wanda, we stopped fighting. Can you please bring food to the temple?" And they said, "Did you bring the Buddha back yet?" And they're like, "No, he's still in the forest." "Okay, then we're not going to come see you again until the Buddha's back." And so they had to wait 3 months of hunger, just hungry, eating very little every day because of their fighting. Then the Buddha didn't come back. He went back to his temple. So the monks here had to travel all the way to the Buddha city to go apologize. And they were so famous in a bad way that when they stepped inside the temple, they closed the door. Nobody wanted them to come in. Everybody was pointing at them and laughing at them. Like, these are bad people. And so the monks had to go to the Buddha and confess and apologize in front of everyone. But because of that, the Buddha said, if you're willing to accept your faults and you're willing to learn and be better, then we will give you another chance. And he forgave them and taught them, and they were able to understand a higher level of understanding. Now, what is the moral of this story? Well, there's a lot. But one of the big morals that I think is important is when you fight with someone, when you're mad at someone, it seems like a really big deal. But if you realize how much it will hurt you in the future, how much it hurts the people around you, and even the bigger scale of life, sometimes it's not that important. I've heard of some stories, Lucas, where like some people are so mad at their mom, so mad at their dad. They won't talk to their mom, they won't talk to their dad. And then their mom or dad gets cancer, and they're sick, and their mom and dad is not here anymore. And that boy or little girl cries so hard that, why did I get so mad at my mom? Why did I get so mad at my dad? I didn't talk to him for 5 years, and now he's gone. And they say, you know what? I don't even remember what the argument was about. I don't even remember why I was mad at my mom or my dad. All I know now is that they're gone. And that's the thing. Life is so short. We don't know when it's going to end. Why would you want to waste time arguing and fighting and hating? Spend time appreciating the people you have. Spend time being nice to the people you have. You don't know when time's going to run out. And so, in the end of this story, what did you learn?